Hey there, you're watching Amitha Verma. Now, I bet you are about to pull out your tree if you have not already. And if you're ever like me, you may be looking at it thinking, oh my goodness, there's so much to do. It's gonna take forever for me to decorate this tree. I don't know where to start. I don't even know if I want to start. Well, you're in for a treat because I wanted to share with you exactly how you should start your tree to give it that beautiful, decadent, holiday lush style to keep you inspired to continue trimming your tree and create a gorgeous farmhouse French country Christmas tree of your dreams. Now you may be thinking the first place to start are with your ornaments, but I'm here to tell you, nuh-uh. We are gonna start with a ribbon, and I'm gonna share with you 3 different ribbon techniques that you can use on your own tree to replicate the style that I use on the trees that I decorate. So the first thing I do is just decide on what's my color palette gonna be this year. Once I've decided on my color palette, I start to look for 2 to 3 different styles of ribbon that can blend in with that color palette. So to demonstrate how you can put the ribbon on your tree, I'm gonna be using this very beautiful, whitewashed, kind of woodsy color palette. This is all the trend for this year and goes so beautifully with the French country and farmhouse style that it's gonna look amazing in your home and mine for at least the next 10 years, if not more. Now for the sizes of your ribbon, I tend to look for a couple of different widths to apply onto my tree. Now I'm always looking for a 4-inch wide, if not wider ribbon to add a lot of breadth and wideness in the textiles onto my tree. Now once I've got that larger scale ribbon, from there I can go up or down depending on which styles actually go with my design vision for my tree, but I also like to look for some narrower widths like a 2-inch, a 1-inch, and maybe even a 1/2-inch wide ribbon so I can have that contrast in the variety of scale with just my ribbon designs alone. So now that you've got how to select your color palette and the different sizes that you should look for, let's get into a couple of different techniques that you can use on your tree. Now this is going to be the primary ribbon that I'm going to use on my tree to give it that color palette, the texture, and the style. I'm working with a tree that has these wired branches, so if you have a tree like that, you can use that to grab onto the ribbon that you're going to put in your tree. And if not, you can just use some florist wire and a pair of scissors to cut a piece and secure it onto your branches. I'm going to unroll a little bit so I can get a good amount of length here. And then I'm going to create a little bit of a tail and then just start here at the top. I'm just gonna start creating anywhere from 12 to 14, even 18 inches, depending on how tall your tree is, these really loose loops like this and start winding down and through my tree in a diagonal pattern. So using my branch to act as a little piece of wire and secure around my ribbon. Now, once you're down here, you can cut your ribbon. I know this is a hotly debated topic of should you or should you not cut your ribbon. I do cut my ribbon, but I try to get it at its longest length before I cut it, and then that allows me to move over a couple, maybe 2 feet to the next section of my tree. Now, whenever I use this wind down and through technique, I do this a couple of times throughout my tree. I'm gonna start relatively in a similar area at the top, keep it a little bit tight, and then work my way down throughout the tree and repeat this about 4 to 5 times depending on the tree size. Now you can see we've got some large empty pockets here and here where we don't have a lot of branches. So the next technique I'm going to show you is really great for filling in some of those big gaps. Now I'm going to use my second ribbon style that goes with the design that I'm trying to create. And what I'm going to do is grab a section. Again, create a little bit of a tail, so I've got that overlap here. And then what I'm gonna do is create a collection of loops. So you can start to see here, we're gonna have our first loop, our second loop, and even our third loop. You could do this with 1 loop, 2, or 3, whatever your heart's content. I'm just gonna let this gap help me decide how much of the ribbon I should loop into to fill it up, but not take away from my primary ribbon. And I'm just winding this around and around a central core and using my wire to keep everything in place. Now once I have the desired number of loops, 1, 2, or 3, I'm gonna look for a section where I wanna add this into my tree. And then I'll just grab one more piece of florist wire to attach the whole piece onto. Now I tend to add these in a zigzag pattern, starting from the top and then going diagonally wherever I need to add a little bit more fullness or where I want to add the romance of the looped ribbon. There's always going to be a spot or a couple of spots on your tree where you're not going to be able to hang your ornaments or really access or fill in those empty pockets. And this technique, the looped ribbon, is the perfect way to fill those spots in. Now there's one last technique I call the curl. Now what you're gonna do is take a piece of ribbon, this is about 3 feet long, and then you're gonna start rolling it just like so. And of course for this I'm using the wired edge ribbon as well. And once you've gotten to the end, we're gonna push or pull the center core out. And it's gonna start to create this very beautiful, romantic, curled piece of ribbon for you. I'm using a little bit of a smaller width ribbon. You can use another 4-inch ribbon, or you can even go smaller with another style of ribbon to create the same effect and have these loose curls all throughout your tree. I wanted to show you all of these techniques on this very simple tree and how it looks when we get started, so now you can see how it looks in the end when the entire tree is complete. I use these techniques plus many more whenever I'm working on a tree, and the first place I always start is with my ribbon design. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. That helps me know that you love and enjoy this type of content. And of course, don't forget to hit the subscribe or follow button. And then be sure to click or ring the bell so you don't miss any more of my inspiring tutorials. After that, head over to my blog where you can sign up to receive your free design newsletter and soak in endless hours of design tips that will help you create your dream home. Till the next time we meet, keep using your amazing gifts to create heart in your home. I should be like, who knew it was so layered and complicated? Now, I'm gonna use another, let me start over. I'm gonna start relatively in a similar area at the top. Now, I tend to add these in a diagonal pattern.